My 35 female BF 37 male of 7 years hasn't proposed. What should I do?
I mentioned to him 3 years ago how important marriage is to me.
He said he's working on it.
Since then I've waited. Then 12 months later I said, so what's happening? He said stop going on about he wants to marry me more than anything. 12 months later I say I'm not bothered about an expensive ring. He says he doesn't want to let me down but has been planning a proposal. 2 months on. I don't want to bring it up anymore as I'm fed up. He clearly doesn't want to get married. I don't want to beg.
I've even said I'm happy to elope as he has said that he wouldn't want a big thing. Elopement would be a sacrifice to me, but happy to go along if that's what he wants. And yet I am still waiting.
I'm worried I'm wasting years of my life on a man who doesn't want to get married.
I love him so much. But his not making any moves is making me doubt his love for me. What should I do? If I speak to him about it, he says he does want to get married and does love me, and yet no proposal. What should I do?
I think your choices here are either to accept that he doesn't want to get married
and stay with him, or to accept that he doesn't want to get married and leave him.
He's 37 and has been with you since he was 30. If he hasn't proposed by now, he won't, unless you force him, and that won't end well.
He doesn't want to get married and should have been honest about that years ago, so you can make an informed decision about your future.
Men commit to things they want. He's not committing to marrying you because he doesn't want to. I'm so sorry to say something so hurtful. It's time to move on and find your person.
You're worthy of love.
You're worthy of commitment. You just need to find the right person. Good luck. If a man wants to marry you, he will marry you.
You give him sex, companionship, friendship without him having to marry you. Either he does not care if you leave or doesn't believe you are willing to leave. So why should he marry you? Don't settle for a shut up ring either.
He doesn't want to marry you. He doesn't want to marry you.
And if you want to be married anytime soon and want to have kids soon, you don't need to waste any more time on someone who doesn't want to marry you.
Leave him and find someone who does want to marry you. He is just stringing you along. Creeped out by friend's husband, 28M, but my husband, 30M, thinks I'm overreacting?
My friend's husband at a hangout randomly rubs my big toe with his fingers, when I was sitting on sofa and no one was looking.
I was so shocked, I didn't react to it at the moment. I've told my husband, but he shrugged it off as, maybe he's just a touchy guy. I don't think that's an acceptable excuse to touch someone inappropriately. More so, my husband's reaction to it disappointed me. I expected to show more concern to my feelings toward the incident.
It has caused me distress that I do not want to hang out with my friend anymore because I don't want to see her husband.
I didn't tell my friend because I am not the confrontational type. Plus, knowing her, nothing will come out of it. I just want, for the sake of my peace, to be left alone and to distance myself from the couple. Whereas my husband sees no issue with the incident and continues to befriend the guy. Am I overreacting? Is rubbing the opposite sex toes a normal thing nowadays? My late grandfather used to say that the first gut reaction you get from something is usually right. That's definitely disgusting, and your husband is not taking it as seriously as he should. You should send the friend a text telling him that you don't like what he did and that he shouldn't do it again. You need to show him that it's not okay. He's a creep and your husband is a dingus. Who and why would any normal person would want to touch your big toe like this? Plus, how did he touch your big toe so easily anyways? Did you have your feet up in the air or on the couch or something, or was it on the ground like normal? Either way is creepy, but one is a lot less creepy than the other. It's very hard to have a good excuse to tap his fingers on your big toe if your feet were on the ground. Your husband needs his dad, uncle, and/or grandpa to re-educate his dumb ass on what's creepy and worrisome and what's not. Currently he's failing on that front pretty badly. It wasn't an accident. Just say you are not seeing him. Your husband likely doesn't take foot fetishes seriously. That was no accident and it's creepy AF. Next time, yell out loud, "Why are you rubbing my toe?" I'm sure no one can downplay this when he's directly confronted. There are some men who value praise by other men even over the women in their lives. Your husband sadly sounds like he's one. 25F. Just found out my best friend, 25F, is cheating on her husband, 25M. What do I do? Throw away for obvious reasons.
To make a very long story short, my best friend just told me she's been sleeping with someone other than her husband. Do I confront her about it and try to talk sense into her? At least push her to leave her husband first? Or do I let her just screw around behind her husband's back? What can I do as a friend in this situation?
I have remained somewhat neutral thus far, but I'm trying to convince her to seek therapy. I would like my approach to remain calm and rational, because I don't know that she's emotionally or mentally stable at this time. Her husband has no clue. Reddit, please help me. They've only been married for 2 years.
Edit for context. Together for 7 years, married for 2 years, and we've been friends since we were 13 years. If I was the husband in this situation and other people knew except me and didn't say anything, I'd honestly feel betrayed.
I'd feel like a fool and an idiot.
You can't control what she does, but the husband has a right to know.
If she expressed some remorse, I would push her to end the affair, tell her husband, and prepare to deal with whatever fallout ensues.
But if she said it as a, "Teehee, I'm doing this bad thing," then fuck her. That's not someone you even want as a friend. If she refuses to end the affair and disclose it to her husband, then tell her you are no longer her friend.
I get the intricacies of not wanting to tell the husband, but that's not a quality person you want in your life. You see, cheating ruins relationships across the board.
Best to dissociate as quickly as possible.
You see, your character will now be brought into question.
You stand by a cheater, and people associate you with the same behavior and the untrustworthy traits.
Your friend isn't a friend to be putting you in this position. Tell the husband now and tell him exactly how to catch her in the act. Don't give her room to create a fake story or run a fake narrative against him. If you remain neutral, it means you don't mind cheating. That reads poorly of your character and humanity. A friend doesn't condone bullshit like cheating. A friend calls them out from their bullshit and demands better of a person, or else the friendship is null and void. What are you even worried about? Your character should be so solid that any accusation you level at her is taken with earnesty and seriousness. Cheaters aren't friends, they're users. She betray you when it's convenient as well. Don't accept trash in your life. If my wife had a friend that knew but didn't tell me, I would make it a requirement for R that she no longer talk to that friend. That's if I were to R. Anonymous, text him to watch out. Don't need to kill the friendship, but you do need to kill the relationship. She's evil right now. My wife, 29F, went on a date with another man, M29. Should I be upset and assume she cheated? So my wife and our family came to her hometown for her friend's little sister's wedding. She told me the week prior she might have brunch with an old friend, M, and his mother. The day of, I drop her off and she proceeded to spend 2 hours at this brunch with hardly any communication via text. But later on had no issue sending me pics and texting me her status. Only for me to later find out the mother of the male friend never showed, so it was just the two of them. Now we've had issues of her being unfaithful in the past, and it happened to be with another, old friend from school, church, whatever. But she can't even spend an hour with me or our 2 children, but can spend 2 hours here at brunch? Your wife went on a date with another man. Yes, she is up to no good. How would she feel if you did that to her? You no longer trust her, doesn't matter if her brunch was date or not. She broke trust in the past and it's on her to rebuild it, but she is not working on it and is doing the opposite. She should have messaged you immediately when the guy's mother bailed and she chose to go dark for that 2 hours. There are many possibilities for what she was up to, whether it was a planned window, planned for the M to meet alone, or was incidental. None of it changes the fact she met a man alone and did so through lies. You either trust her or not. Guess the trust has been already broken several times? I am sorry, but you are most probably a right sad face. She's a known cheater. You should have left her, then cheaters always cheat again. They didn't have brunch, they got a hotel and fucked. Allow me to be your voice of reason for a moment. If a person is caught cheating and truly wants forgiveness and wants to be a better person, they don't go putting themselves in similar situations again. It's called having boundaries. Your wife has poor boundaries and apparently doesn't care how you feel about it. I have no idea how your marriage can function in that dynamic. Dude. She already cheated in the past and now went on a date with another man, SMH. Why are you still there staring at walls while she's out and about acting single?